Um, this is probably how it's going to end. Of course, I don't have a crystal ball, but depends on how honest the light wants to be that is here in the planet that is represented by the United States of America. Okay? But here's where the rubber hits the pavement when the truth comes out. Okay? Because this is where the light exposes the dark. Okay? I'm sure that I shouldn't say everybody, those that have watched my videos certainly know that I represent what love is that is living in the light. That's life force energy. I represent the living. Okay? Because I happen to love the energy that I run, which is what love is, living in the light. Because the source from which all life comes is what love is. Every mother knows that. That's the first thing that newborn gets right out of the womb. Because that mother realizes without that love, that child will die. That's what unconditional love is. Okay? It means that mother wants that little newborn to thrive, and that newborn will thrive when that newborn gets love. That's a frequency. That's 528. That's the law on this planet. Okay? When you are what love is in living spirit, then you know what life is. Okay? We don't represent the dark because we're not dead. Okay? A corporation is dead, isn't it? It doesn't advertise itself as being what love is in living spirit. And the reason that you know that is because anything that is a parasite, okay, and of course the anthropological record will bear this out, as any conservation biologist will tell you, that which is in an energy field that is the most predatory, parasitic, will always be the first one to go extinct. Do you know why that is? Because it's not an energy giver. It's not 0 point. How can it possibly expect to go on if it's not producing more of what it is, which is what the light is, which is what love is, which is what life is? It is self-terminating itself. That's what a reptilian is. A demon. A demon will, in and of itself, have a target on its back wherever it goes. And why is that? Because it's stealing energy wherever it goes. Because it knows that the only way that it can continue to perpetuate itself is by acquiring energy from something else that represents energy. That means it's vampiric. And anything that is vampiric, which represents a garbage disposal, means that it's going to be consuming the light wherever it goes. That's because it has no love to give. It has no compassion and it has no empathy. It sees everything as a resource or as energy to be consumed. So how do you escape a garbage disposal? By being what love is and living spirit. Come up out of that black hole and burn so much light that burns hot, in which you're using that energy in which to burn it with. Now you can see yourself in the mirror, which is what the light is instead of what the dark is, because all the dark is simply a lack of light. It can't see itself in that light. Oh man. Fear. When you realize that the light is what love is and it doesn't have any light, which means it doesn't have any love to generate, then it can't see itself in the mirror, which is what the light is. Which means if you're a predator and a monster is looking at itself in the light, holy shit. That's what fear is. That's the fear-based reptilian brain, otherwise known as the fight or flight center. So it's living in fear of what the love is. That's why when that lizard comes out of that shell, okay, and it realizes, holy crap, I'm on my own, what's the only way that it knows how to survive? Whack-a-mole. Being a war gamer. So how does it win a war against the light? Consuming more of it. Negative current. So that's what it does. It's fear-based. It's not love-based. It lives in fear of us because we run higher frequency energy, which is high speed. So when you realize you have something that you are engaged with that represents a demon which is living in the dark, then it's spiritually dead. Because it's not living in the light, which is what love is, which is what life is. That means that Mr. Joe Biden is not among the living. And those that are not among the living cannot vote. They cannot participate amongst the living because he is among the walking dead. The dead cannot vote. Can they? No. The dark cannot vote. The light is the one who votes. Those amongst the living, which are what love is free energy. That is the source from which all life comes, is what source is. Source is the source from which all life comes. That's what love is in living spirit. Joe Biden is not among the living, which is what the light is, which is what love is. Joe Biden cannot vote, nor can he participate in an election because he is not among the living. He is among the dead. That's why they use technology, the communication technology, to communicate with the light in order to drain our battery to keep it running. It's that simple. That's why when Lori Ladd talked about President Trump being with the light and he was going to drain the swamp, what he's really saying is that they are going to eliminate the dark, the dead, the demons, those that are not among the living. Those that are not among the living, which represent the dark, cannot be a part of what the light is because they don't represent what the living are that are in that light, which is what love is in living spirit. That means that he was a fraud. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are fraud. They were lying to the American people. They were trying to advertise themselves as being among the living, representing themselves as being among the living. They are not among the living. They are among the dead. They are demons. Demons that feed on the light. So they can't participate with the living because the dead cannot vote and the dead cannot run for office to be voted upon as an election or an elector or the representative of the living. It can't represent the living because it's not among the living. That's what a corporation is. A corporation is a dead fiction. I am among the living, because I am what love is in living spirit. So I am not going to have something that represents the dead representing what I am, which is what love is, which is what life is, which is what living light is. I am among the living, which is what the light is in living spirit, which is what love is. I am not a corporation. I am not amongst the dead. I am among the living, which is what the light is. Joe Biden represents a corporation which is dead. It's a fiction, which means it's fake. It's not among the living. That means that you can't have the dead running for living office. If you are among the living, living in the United States of America, then the dead can't vote, can they? End of story. End of game. End of wargaming against the dead. Bye.